Hello. This is unusual because, I've never done this before. I only post on Twitter or talk to people online via Zoom or Discord. But I never really go to YouTube and I never really considered doing videos about this. But why not, right? Let me just start off with saying that everything I'm talking about might have been said already by other people. I can't know the whole internet, I can't know what everyone else is saying. This is primarily what I thought of at this point in time, and is not something copied by anyone else. Not that I know of. I didn't purposely do it. So if this was also a theory of yours, comment down. Tell me. Maybe you have a different path of that same idea, whatever. So I basically wrote down all the things because I wrote all the theories on Twitter. Yeah, I think I did. I will link them down in the description. So if you want to read what I wrote, what I tweeted, there you can click it. Yeah. So let me just start off with something quite easy. Let us start off with this, with Trash and Clifford having yellow eyes. So I just only realized this today. The music video came out yesterday. People probably have already noticed that, but I only noticed it today. So they both have been dead from the beginning because, as we know now from the letters, the bishops use vessels, dead people or dead bodies in general, to possess, to do their things, to do whatever. And that is actually kind of sad because now Trash is dead. Well, he already was dead. He's been dead from the beginning because it's already on the album cover, which is insane if you think about it. So now I've got more questions like, how did they kill Trash? Because they had to get Trash from somewhere. Trash had to be alive at some point. At one point, did he die? Who killed him? There are so many questions. And was he ever a good guy? Was he ever a bad guy who was in control before the bishops? Was Tyler in control of Trash before? How did he lose control? These are the questions that just come up. Anyway, I tweeted this on Twitter, and Justin, I'll link his Twitter profile down and his YouTube, has pointed out that Trash is used for surveillance. Surveillance is outside, we see when you arrive, which makes so much sense. That was mind-blowing when I read that. So thanks to Justin for pointing it out. Because now it literally all makes sense. The bishops knew what was happening outside of Dima. Because they used Trash, and maybe not only Trash, but other vultures for surveillance. They could always see when something was happening outside, or what was happening, where it was happening. This is how they've been keeping track. But I'll be coming back to this one a little bit later. Yeah. And also, because of the yellow eyes, Sally and Dan, which might have been real people, their names might have actually been Sally and Dan, because now we know these were actually people. These were people of Dima, and they were decaying, which is kind of really freaky. But apparently they were used or controlled or rather possessed by Sokovia and Liston. So that's interesting. Yeah, I think that was just like lighthearted things, whatever. Mm, I don't know how long this video is going to be, by the way. I've got a lot written down, whatever. So next, I want to talk about the migraine theory because I would never shut up about the migraine theory. Because honestly, I was so shocked. I'm still so shocked how good this. So, let me just say, I had this theory, this migraine theory, on. I wrote it down on March 11th, which was shortly after Tyler posted on Instagram that photo and this thing he wrote to that post. But it was before all the Clancy letters, the new Clancy letters got out, and the map, and before the music video dropped, obviously. So this was before we knew for sure. This was just a theory. I'm still so in shock that this actually became real. What the heck? Anyway, like I said, link down below to that tweet. So basically, what this theory said is that there are islands of violence, because behind my eyelids are islands of violence. My mind ship direct. This is the only land my mind could find. So, and we got that one confirmed. Like Voltsoy on the map, we got on the Dima side. It said Voltsoy, and it's translated from Norwegian. And if you translate it, it says Island of Violence, which is crazy. What the fuck? So I was right. These are islands of violence for Tyler. It's crazy. Or like literally for everyone else as well. And what I thought about my mind shipwrecked is like the first thing that came to my mind, the submarine. It got wrecked by trash. Well, Keon's trash. We'll come to that one later. But it got wrecked, and now he is shipwrecked. And the only land his mind could find was Voltsoy, if that was Voltsoy they are on. But whatever, wherever they're on, this is the only land his mind could find. And Tyler also said that chance had nothing to do with this place, or at least the caption said this on Instagram. This is probably like the part that fits the most to the music video for The Outside. The rest of the theory doesn't really work that well anymore. But it blew me away that even this small part worked. Like, what the heck? And I mean, I also theorized in that same tweet that Dima could be on an island, and it actually might be, because Tyler did talk about islands in the past, like I said, in Migraine, or in Pet Cheetah as well. Like, I am on an island, no one to confide, which is also really interesting. And I also thought it could be just coincidence that it all fits together, but, it turns out it's not just coincidence, because, nothing is ever coincidence with Tyler Joseph. Yeah, and also after now the video is out, we can actually hear this part in between when the music stops. There's a little bit of other music going on in the background. You can hear the migraine stems, which is insane. This is insane. I'm not over this. Anyway, yeah, this is the first part of Migraine. It's a little bit just, I don't know. So now we come to some thoughts I had before the music video dropped, literally like 8 hours before. So we know now that Saturday, the music video was the assemblage of the Glorified, which is kind of terrifying. I rewatched the video after I knew that, and it feels different now. everything feels different now. Like this whole storyline is getting crazy. It's been crazy already, but now all the dots connect and everything makes so much more sense, but it also gets more terrifying. I don't know. And also, we now got confirmed that the bishops are not real. I thought the bishops were not real. A lot of people thought that the bishops were not real because they could have easily like afforded to make them look the same, but they didn't on purpose. It's not like they didn't have money or anything to make that possible, but they just didn't do it because it weren't the real bishops. They were controlled. And I'm also like with a theory now people had for a long time. I wasn't one of them for a long time, but now I do feel like the theory that Clancy represents multiple or is represented by multiple people is fairly possible. And also the banditos are now called torchbearers, I guess, which is pretty cool. And Josh is also referred as that in one of the letters. Not directly, we don't know that it was Josh, Tyler, or Clancy talked about, but we can guess. But the banditos are torchbearers now. There's also one thing I started to question, like a lot of people, if Nico is actually Tyler's bishop. Because there's so much of keons now. And, it might be keons after all. Keons might be Tyler's bishop. And I think keons was just helping Tyler. But that's for another theory. I was going to say for another video. No, it's literally in the same video. Yeah, I'm still kind of thinking that this might be it. Although I'm not sure. Keons might just be there to help. And Nico might still be Tyler's bishop. So yeah, let's go on to keons to talk a little bit about keons. So as we know, keons is dead now. The bishops killed keons, which is crazy. And that might be because keons might have betrayed them. Keons betrayed the bishops. Because on Saturday, I'm trying to explain this now, what my theory is. I believe that on Saturday, the bishops controlled these vessels, these dead bodies. So these were the fake bishops, and Keons was supposed to do the same. He was supposed to be one of the bishops, the fake bishops on the ship, on the submarine, but he wasn't. He didn't do it. He didn't possess any dead. Well, no, that's wrong. He did possess somebody, but not a person. Keons possessed trash. He controlled trash. And, the bishops did start to panic. They started panicking when trash appeared because it wasn't planned. It's not what they thought would happen. They were scared. Well, maybe not scared, but they were panicking because like I said, it wasn't planned what they wanted to do. It wasn't what they wanted to do. And so Keons made the submarine sink with trash, with the help of trash. Because he wanted Tyler to get on that island. He wanted Tyler to get to that island to get to Ned. But right after Keons succeeded in destroying the submarine, the bishops also got back to their actual selves, to like their actual minds, whatever, and killed Keons right after because Keons betrayed them. They helped Tyler, or Keons helped Tyler. And I do think there was a plan behind it. So this is the next part of the theory, because I did have like a little brain, whatever. My brain did a lot of things today. I rewatched Nico and the Niners today, which is also an experience if you know the things that are happening right now. Um, like Tyler's getting ready to pack in the beginning of the music video. He knows exactly what he's doing, what to do, where he wants to go, who he wants to talk to. And like he's ready to tell someone what has just been planned. Um because I believe that he planned this with keons. So let's say he came along the bandidos in the video, and the rap part in the rap part he's literally explaining the plan to the bandidos, what they're going to do now. So this is like what I say when I want to be enough, what a beautiful day for making the break for it. He finds it like it's the great day for making it out. It's a perfect day to start this plan. We'll find a way to pay for it. So he's literally encouraging them, like, we'll find a way to do this plan. We'll find a way. Maybe from all the money we made razor blade stores, rent a racehorse and force a sponsor. So it's literally them getting onto the submarine. Like the sponsor is Dima because they're sponsoring all the things that are happening, the album and everything, literally everything. And the concert and the submarine, which is the glorification, the assemblage of the glorified. For sponsors, the concert a complete diversion. It's a complete diversion. They don't know that there are plans to destroy everything. They don't know that. The bishops don't know that. So, and Tyler goes on by saying, start a mob and you can be quite certain we'll win, but not everyone will get out. So that's literally not the end of the story. Like the we'll win, but not everyone will get out. It's the we'll win, but that keons, we're sure keons will do this and help us, and we will get out of this, but not everyone. There will be dead people, and there were dead people. People died, and we know that because that is what is said on the letters, or in one of the letters. And I know that this theory of this being a plan and whatnot is a theory that existed already. I know that. I talked about this. Other people talked about this way before everything. But now it actually happened a lot more. Now we got the extended version of what happened and what happened after. So everything was planned well. Everything went accordingly. They even left the jacket and the drum kit that got found by the kids. The kids found the jacket and the drum kit, and I believe the kids were in on it. And if not, this was the Bandidos' way to get them in on it. Because, we see these kids again in the outside music video. They're grown. So, and also if you watch Levitate after Nico and the Niners, it was always weird that they didn't do anything about Tyler being dragged back by the bishop. They didn't do anything because they knew the plan. They knew it was part of the plan. Because the bishops had to feel like they were in control of everything. They had to have the feeling that everything is going fine. But in actuality, the Bandidos knew what they were doing. And it was part of their plan. And how did the bishop find Tyler? Because of the vultures. Maybe at this point, the Bandidos already knew that they had some way of knowing. Or maybe they completely knew because keons talked to Tyler and could show him or explain to him a little bit about it. I mean, that's how he knew what to do in the outside music video, I guess, because keons told him how they do it, how the bishops do it, so Tyler could do it himself later in the music video. Yeah, by the way, so the bishops knew exactly where to look because of the vultures that they controlled, but that they possessed. And also, Tyler is not surprised by trash in the Saturday music video. He's calm, almost kind of happy. He knows exactly what is going to happen. It's all part of the plan. Everything's fine. So everything at this point is going according to plan, I believe. But we don't know what the next part of the plan is. Or maybe we already know and we're not aware, because that's how things always go with this band. But we'll see what goes next. I hope we're gonna see a music video, or we're gonna get a music video for No Chances, because we desperately need that one. So then I thought about something else. Then I thought about the outside again, like the lyrics specifically. I remembered something Tyler wrote on Twitter. A fan, I don't remember who, I can just put up the tweet. They asked why the lyrics, the last part of the lyrics, weren't in the booklet, in the little thing in the CD. Tyler's response was, wrote that part last minute after we had already submitted album artwork. Good catch. We should have known that this is not the explanation. Well, it is the explanation, but we now know that Tyler/Clancy, well, we know it's Tyler, wrote that album. He wrote Skell and Icy while under control. Well, not under control, but he was being watched. The bishops watched him write this album. He couldn't do anything super crazy with the album because it was their plan. So he wrote this part last minute without the bishops knowing it, or without most of the bishops knowing it. Maybe Keons did. That's how he was able to do it in the first place, because I don't think he could have done this on his own. So he wrote that after everything was basically done, and no one else knew about it. Yeah. And what's also interesting is that right when this part of the song starts in the music video, that's when Tyler is taking control over Keon's body. He is possessing Keons right at that moment. And that's when he makes the moves, his ritual thing, whatever. And now that I think about it, that would mean, if they actually worked together, that would mean that Keons knew that he was going to die, and Tyler knew that as well. So that's why he was certain he could take over his body, which is crazy, which means Keons sacrificed himself for Tyler and the Bandidos and everyone. Wow. Okay. Whatever. So, then there's this next part. I just want to try and get through this. I think I've recorded for half an hour already. It's a long video. Okay. Anyway, chlorine. Now we're gonna go to chlorine, because I was mind blown by myself, kind of, or rather by Tyler, because, during the campfire part in the music video with all the Neds, Tyler drinks the chlorine, because they all drink a little, they all take a sip, at least, from this thing. So Tyler finally drank chlorine. He finally did it. Because if you remember, I remembered and I was shook. In the chlorine music video, he was handed a cup by Josh, possibly with chlorine, and gives Ned a sip of chlorine. Ned takes a sip because he's Ned. Tyler takes it back, and you can see he is about to drink, or at least he's thinking about drinking or taking a sip, But he never does. He never drinks the chlorine. He just stares at his cup. Like literally, this is the end. This is the end of the video. He never takes a sip because he wasn't ready yet. I feel like that was him not being prepared yet. And if you look further at the lyrics, that's what I did after, and I was freaking out even more. Sipping on straight chlorine, let the vibe slide over me. He drank the chlorine in the outside music video, and then he was vibing. He was literally singing in the outside, little did they know that they can't touch me, I'm vibing, vibing. This is a literal direct reference to chlorine. Excuse me? What? And then he also talks about, when I leave, don't save my seed. I'll be back when it's all complete. Like, his place at the campfire. He's maybe talking to Ned. He's telling Ned it'll be all right. He doesn't need to save his seed. He'll be back when everything is done, when everything is right. He'll be back for Ned. But it could also be from Ned's perspective, because Ned did leave to be with his own kind. But then Tyler goes on, now different lives I lead, my body lives on lead. How more obvious can it be? Like, he now has the power the power of Ned to possess people and literally different lives, all kinds of lives, if only for a couple of seconds or just a couple of minutes. It's not for long, but he has the power now to do that because that's what the bishops do. And in the end, Tyler sings, I'm so sorry I forgot you. You know, Ned was gone. Tyler didn't know where he was. In the beginning of this era, Tyler did say he doesn't know where Ned is. He's gone, and he wishes for him to, like, say hello or something, to let him know where he is. And now he has found Ned again. He was on this island, and now it's like he's apologizing to Ned. Like, I'm so sorry, I forgot you. And then he goes on with, let me catch you up to speed. So explaining what has happened to him to let him know. And then goes on again with, I've been tested like the end of a weathered flag that's by the sea. Yeah, this being tested like the end of a weathered flag goes into my next theory. I am going crazy with theories, I know. But this is my migraine theory part 2. This one came to my mind a little later, so that's why. So the lyrics say, let it be said what the headache represents. So he wants to explain it. Tyler wants to explain what's happening, what it represents. It's me defending in suspense. It's me suspended in the defenseless test. He's been tested by the bishops, always, like over and over again, pushed to his limits, and he was even like being forced to write Scale and Icy. It's literally him suspended in the defenseless test. He can't fight it. He's being tested by a ruthless examinant, blurry face, or the bishops, or one bishop, or whatever, and goes on by saying, that's represented best by my depressing thoughts. Which, you know, these depressing thoughts, blurry face, you know, it's literally representing that. And then it goes on with, I do not have writer's block, my writer just hates the clock. Could possibly mean that he's not in control of his mind, his own story. And he's too weak to get himself out of the situation. He's going along. He's just going along. And Blurry does not let him sleep. So that's why Tyler's saying, I guess I sleep when I'm dead. That's just him accepting it. And then if we go to the outside music video, or like the outside, the song itself, the beginning line is, I've got a long drive, I'll save my eyes so I don't fall asleep again. Well, it's not the beginning line, but it's in the beginning. This feels like the lyrics to The Outside is what the bishops want Tyler to say, but the lyrics to Migraine are the actual explanation to all of this. Yeah. Then in the end of Migraine, Tyler goes to say that sometimes death seems better than the migraine in his head, which could mean that it seems better than being controlled or being possessed by the bishops. Well, at this point, Tyler's not possessed because he's not dead, but he's being controlled in a way. And in The Outside, Tyler questions if he's on the outside, but in Migraine, what? In Migraine, he questions if he's the only one waging his war inside his brain. These are just like little parallels, I guess. And on the outside, he's saying that kids will try to take his vibes, but in Migraine, he's doing the opposite. He's talking directly to that kid, which is us, by saying, shadows will scream that I'm alone, but I know we've made it this far, kid. They've made it this far, to the island. And even if they didn't make it to the island, there was still a long way they've gone before. They came so far already, you know? So then there's another little thing about the cycle. We know that it's a cycle. The whole thing with pilots, the whole story, everything is a cycle. We've been introduced to cycles all the time. We know it's all a cycle. There's no denying it. And this band said on Twitter and on Instagram, I'm not sure, but definitely on Twitter, they said that this story is about cycles and trying to break them. They were straightforward with that. And that's when I had another thought. You know, Keons is the bishop for Heavy Dirty Soul. And Heavy Dirty Soul is part of the cycle. Heavy Dirty Soul is how Tyler got brought to Dima, you know. But since Keons is dead now, the cycle is broken. So the bishops basically are responsible for the end that's to come. If they didn't kill Keons, you know, who knows? I mean, it would still be the end somehow, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, but this was just a little thing where it's like, what? And then, yeah, let's go talk a little bit about Trench. Trench, I think, like, about the album. Not that Trench is a fucking continent. I think it's fair to say that we can see Trench in a different light now, because I definitely do see Trench in a different light. Like, especially that one line got my attention today. And that one part in the music video of The Outside, which is this part. And to this I say, but this year, though I'm far from home, in Trench I'm not alone. These faces facing me. You know? Trench, so knowing Trench is a continent means Tyler never left Trench. So he is never alone there, wherever he is. He is far from the bandidos and the camps, that's for sure, but he's not alone. They are always facing him. The bandidos are always there. They wait for him. They have a plan to execute, and they're showing him his support, even if it's like an ocean away. It's probably not even an ocean away, but it's far away. But Tyler can see the lights and everything, and it's code. If you didn't know, I saw this on Twitter. If I find the tweet, I'll blend it in. I'll show you, but I don't know if I will find it again. But someone pointed out that this is Morse code for East is up. If that's not a message, I don't know what is. Yeah. And lastly, it's a theory about Josh. Because this is something we all don't know shit about. We don't know what is going on with Josh this era. What is Josh's role? What is he supposed to do? Because, he's there, but then he's like the bad guy. What the heck is going on? So my first, well, not my first thought, but a thought I had was that Josh is not real. And no, not in the Forrest Vic way, but more like in the Josh is just part of Tyler's mind. Like Josh, of course, exists in the real world. That wouldn't make sense if he doesn't exist. He's just not a physical being in Tyler's world because it's in his mind. So Tyler created him, like everything else in this world, because he created this world to feel some control. And Josh is his hope. Josh did say in an interview that he's not in Dima right now. That's how I came about this theory. He said that in an interview with the Outside Discord, I think. And it wasn't even planned. I think Josh just popped in and they were like, yeah, you have some other questions. And then they asked this about the Outside video and about if he's in Dima right now. And Josh said no, he's not in Dima right now. And I was like, yeah, because he's not real, because he was never anywhere to begin with. So Josh is the rebel part of Tyler, the bandito part that helps him through and out of Dima. And he's also guiding him, like in the Outside music video. Tyler controls Josh, just not in his conscious mind. Like, he's not actively controlling Josh. If he knew what he was doing, he would be... Yeah, I don't know. He would do more than that. But Josh is kind of there, helping him. And whenever Dima gets too much control over Tyler, his world goes weird. Josh suddenly isn't the nice guy anymore, but the guy who hunts down Tyler in the Choker music video. And, at other times, Josh is still there to give Tyler hope, to just be there. Not as a bandito anymore, maybe, but still kind of, because Josh still has his yellow drumsticks. It's like the only bandito part left of him that he always uses. And then the Saturday music video, he also gets out the tape and tapes the submarine with yellow tape, It's also like a little way of showing there's still some bandito part of him. So Josh's role is simple. He is hope. And he's always there. He's the drummer because that's what Tyler knows him from. Of course, he's more than just the drummer of the band. It's obviously his best friend in the real world. But being brainwashed by Dima or being under control and stuff made him forget because they want him to forget. But he can't really forget Josh that easily, so he's always kind of there. And like I said, he's guiding Tyler through the music video of The Outside. And you can even see Josh is not always there. He's kind of there. In the beginning, you can even see Tyler kind of... It looks like he's hallucinating, but really he's kind of thinking, what is this about? And Josh is there, yes. But not really, not all the time. He's always like going forward, pulling Tyler kind of with him. It's like he comes and goes. He's not even like going into the cave with Tyler. Because this is for Tyler to go to, And suddenly when Tyler goes out again, he's outside with Ned in this back area, beach thing. And Josh is just drumming on this rock thing on the side. So that again, he's just there. He is a part of Tyler's mind. He's a projection of Tyler's mind, or well, not a projection, but he's part of this projection. Yeah, I think that might have been it. I've talked for a really long time, and this will probably be not the last thing I thought about, not the last theory. If you want to know what my brain is doing, go follow me on Twitter. I do a lot of things on Twitter, theory-wise, and not just theories, but just connections and thoughts and whatever. So that's kind of fun. Yeah. And also, if you have some thoughts about what I just talked about, let me know. I love reading theories and ideas and stuff, because sometimes if someone else is talking about something, I might get some idea for myself, and maybe a different idea. That sometimes happens. I don't know. But even if it doesn't happen, it's just really cool to read other people's theories and thoughts, because a lot of the times I'm mind blown. I am always mind blown. And I don't know how many times I've said this today on Twitter. I've said this many times, not just today, but today especially. I hate Tyler. Like, I don't actually hate Tyler, but I hate Tyler. Like, everything connects so well. It all starts to make sense. And I know we've said this before. We were all like, oh, this makes sense now. But look at us now. We didn't know shit. We always think we know. And then Tyler drops another bomb. And it's like, nope, you didn't know anything. Thanks, Tyler. But this is the fun of the band, I guess. But it has taken up my whole day. Not gonna lie. I've been sitting here thinking about theories and stuff, rewatching videos since I was awake, which was maybe 9 a.m., 10 a.m. or whatever. Now it's almost 6 p.m. This is how it always goes with this band. I cannot do anything else when stuff like this is happening. Yeah. These were some of my thoughts, theories, connections, whatever. I have a feeling I might have forgotten something. I probably did forget to mention something. I don't know. Just go on Twitter, like I said. I hope that you enjoyed this. Maybe I blew your mind if you haven't read the tweets already. Maybe you have better theories, better connections. I know Shai has a lot of things to say. Shai is always right. You should also follow Shai if you don't follow Shai yet. Yeah, I think that's it for today. It's almost been an hour. I will cut this down a little. I will try to, at least. Yeah, maybe I'll do this more often whenever I have a theory. Who knows? Let me know if you like that. Anyway. See ya.